So recently, the jury in the U.S. found both Johhny Depp and Amber Heard liable for defamation against each other in a recent verdict. Depp was awarded $15 million in damages after it was proven that Heard defamed him when she described herself as a victim of domestic violence, which almost destroyed Johhny Depp's career. Now, what's the best treatment that one or the sides can give to a proven defamer? And this was interesting because we've seen quite a number of stories, even within our own shows, where people come out to say, he or she defamed me, or this person beat me up, and then later we find out it was false. A woman claims that she was abused by her spouse and, makes a big hullabaloo about the whole thing. And after investigations, they found that she was actually the one beating up the husband. So these are real-life issues that happen here. But because of our culture and who we are as a people, we choose to sweep it under the carpet when it comes to these kind of issues. What are your thoughts on this? When it comes to defamation, is it because there was something to gain that somebody can take that route?
Okay, so sometimes it's not about whether the person has money or not before the person seeks redress. It just might be, the damage to character goes deeper than money. For Johhny Depp, yes, he was a public figure, an actor, and it could affect his career. So let's leave money aside. And if it, because of her careless, what I see here is a lot of careless statements. So she also got $2 million against his lawyer for going and releasing a press briefing where he called her out, called her some defamative names as well. And so it's not about that. It goes to the core of the source of that person's career and affects it, and he loses something because of it. Of course, the person gets redress. And even if you are broke, they will still enter your ancestors' property and, get you that redress. I think the entire lesson about this is careless talk. So both of them were married and things happened emotionally. Just as BC said, between the two couples, some things fly everywhere. And so careless statements continue to be made, whether or not it affected the person, or maybe in the interest to deeply injure or harm the person. Just, say things that you will hurt, and then you go out and say it to press. So if you are fighting, you're saying to each other, there's no publication. When you address press, you take it further, and so then it becomes actionable.
It's sad to be at the receiving end of somebody just lying against you, and you having nothing to do. In the case of Johhny Depp, he had goodwill, money to try the case, but there are many cases of people who spent years in prison before the lady just came out and said, okay, I lied about this thing. Somebody's entire life, 15 years, I saw a case, 15 years gone, and you just, because you're feeling bitter, many heartbroken women do this. Out of that, you broke my heart, I'm going to do something, I must do something against you. When we take actions from that place of deep hurt, I've heard cases as a young girl where women will say they strip themselves naked and they will curse, they will swear and curse the man because the man did. Life is more than this momentary emotional charged, and I know that we feel emotionally charged. What we need to realize is when you cry foul, you spoil the opportunities for other people who have legitimate claims, because you now start questioning, is she one of those crying foul as well? Is she one of those that she's just being bitter? That's why she's coming out to say this. And we ought to understand that we carry responsibility of many other precedents that we would have set. This right now has set precedents of questioning a case they hear to be sure if it is true or not.
In a situation whereby a man or somebody has been defamed, publicly disgraced, how do you retrace your steps? Do we go to the courts in Nigeria where we should? Or how do we handle it when family, the church, religion is involved?
So when it comes to abuse, it's always very difficult to judge because abusers have mastered the art of playing victims. So they are the abusers, but they know how to turn the matter on your head, and people who are judging from outside will suddenly start seeing the person who is abused as the perpetrator. They can switch up on you. There are different personality disorders that enable. When it comes to small issues, regular family, like what you just mentioned now, it's even easier to forgive and accept. Well, it's just maybe church members that know about it. It's just a few of my workers that know about it. But when it comes to people who are in the limelight, celebrities, when this sort of case breaks, you see brands taking away their endorsements.
Yeah.
I don't want this person anymore. This
No
person
more
is,
movies.
Yes, no more movies, no more gigs, nothing. And the person begins to crash. The finances where they are, making a living, everything begins to reduce because of the lies you have said and you have, given to the public. At such point, it becomes very difficult to let go. Because even when the person comes back later, those brands you've lost may never come back. We had, there was a case, I don't know if we took it on this set, where a man was lied against by his own 3 daughters. Their mother was living abroad. They wanted to stay abroad. So they lied to their mother that their father was sleeping with them. And this woman ran crazy. The marriage crumbled, everything. This man was drained to the last, only for these silly girls to confess after a few years that they actually lied on their father because they wanted to move abroad.
I read that story.
In that kind of case, who do you begin to forgive? Who can the father forgive his children? How do you rebuild the reputation of the man? Do you know what incest is? It's deep. It's difficult to come out of it. How many people who heard the first story would have heard the second story? Some people would have died with that story that you told in the first place. So if you can, I don't know, because everybody pretends. When you're dating in a relationship, we always put your best foot forward. TDJ says you come with your representative. That's not the real you. Till you now get into the marriage and then your representative now goes home and you now see the real you. But we can begin to notice some red flags about certain people. And one thing I tell young people also is, watch how this person treats other people who are beneath him or her. How he talks to his drivers, how he talks to his cooks, how he talks to people around him. That will tell you how he will talk to you tomorrow when the love finally fails.